Hello, and welcome to a midweek musical moment for the Lenten season. My name is Matt, and I'm the organist here at Haddonfield United Methodist Church, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about one of the upcoming pieces of music that will be featured in the worship service here at Haddonfield for the Lenten season, and that is the chorale prelude, Ach Herr, mich, armen, Sünder, by Dietrich Buxtehude. Now, Dietrich Buxtehude, who was born in 1637, died 1707, was one of the masters of the North German organ school in the 17th century. Buxtehude had been living and working the majority of his life from 1668 until his death in 1707 in the northern city of Lübeck, working at St. Mary's Church. This particular chorale prelude, Ach Herr, mich, armen, Sünder, we would more appropriately know it by its English name, O Sacred Head, Now Wounded, is Buxtehude Catalog number 178, and is one of the emblematic examples of Buxtehude's chorale preludes, of which he composed 47 of them. Now, these chorale preludes were typically pretty short pieces. They served the express purpose of introducing the chorale melody before the congregation would sing the hymn in its entirety within the structure of the church service. Specifically, chorale preludes would have each phrase of the hymn tune declamated and played in full in the soprano or the right hand voice on a different manual from what the left hand is playing and what the pedals would be playing on the organ. One of the techniques that Buxtehude used to really tie the piece together and make it a little bit more interesting to the ear and lend more variety while still serving its purpose of displaying and showing the chorale tune, is he would use this technique called Vorimitation, which is basically the left hand and the feet in the pedals, which again are accompanying and providing harmonic context for the melody in the right hand, would imitate the beginning of musical phrases as a way to lead into and segue when the melody would come in on its separate keyboard that you'll see in the recording that I made that follows this brief little talk. So Buxtehude displays this technique right from the get-go at the beginning of the chorale prelude before the right hand even comes in. So we start with just the left hand, two voices in the left hand, but they both start with that same upward leap of O Sacred Head, but it's layered over each other. Then the right hand comes in, and then the pedal, for good measure, after the right hand has already started, does the same motion, and I'll demonstrate that here. Layer that. Right hand. Then the pedal. You can hear how the melody is basically foreshadowed before we actually get there with the right hand soprano that is playing the entire melody phrase the whole way through. That doesn't mean that the left hand and the pedal play the same melody all the way through. They just give a foretaste of it and provide cohesion to the whole chorale prelude. Now, another distinctive feature of chorale preludes, not just amongst Buxtehude's work, but other North German composers, including Bach, is ornamentation. Now, that's called a trill. Now, the purpose of a trill in a piece of music is multi-dimensional, and it sort of depends on the context. You can use trills to express joy or happiness. You can use it to express anxiety or fear. You can also use it very effectively to express sadness or pain, as the case may be. Now, the reason for that is because in a trill, you move back and forth between two notes The top note is a dissonant note, meaning it doesn't fit within the harmony. The bottom note is the consonant note, meaning that it does fit in the harmony. It's this tension and this friction between the consonant and the dissonant notes that the ear locks into and hears. So here's the harmony right here, and then here's the trill. That top note, that doesn't go with the harmony here, whereas the bottom one does. It's more consonant and it fits better. The trill is always meant to resolve to something that is harmonious and more pleasing to the ear. I picked this particular chorale prelude by Buxtehude as the prelude for Lent 1, as the opener for the Lent season. In this particular volume of music that I found this music in, the Church Organist's Golden Treasury, edited by Karl Vatheiker and Archibald Davison. This music was under the header Herzlich tut mich verlangen, which translates to "My heart is filled with longing." The translation, just to give a taste to start, is "My heart is filled with longing to pass along in peace, for woes are round me thronging, and trials will not cease." I thought that text, the "My heart is filled with longing," was a nice sentiment and appropriate to start the season of Lent, but also because the melody for this chorale prelude, again based on "O Sacred Head Now Wounded," is a bit of foreshadowing to what we can expect and what happens in the end of the Lenten season, and specifically during Holy Week. And I found this particular setting very contemplative and introspective, and I think a good conduit into a season that is by its very nature more introspective and thoughtful. Thank you so much for indulging me and spending some time learning some context and background and learning about some of the elements of music that will go into this prelude. I hope you have found it enjoyable. I hope you enjoy the following recording that I made here at Haddonfield, and I hope you have a blessed week.